Hi, you're back and welcome to me, Selena, and today I'm here to answer your most burning question. The number one comment that I get is, how do I know if I'm haunted? How do I know if there's bad energy attached to me? How do I know if I have a ghost? And today I'm gonna give you the, how to know if you're possessed for dummies skill set. As we go through life, we are surrounded by energy. Energy comes from everything and everyone around us. Energy, light bulbs, energy, shakiness, creating energy, plants, energy, people, energy. What people don't understand is that we feed off of each other's energy. When someone is in a room with you and they're sad, you can tell, and sometimes it even makes you feel sad. Someone's angry, you get angry for them. Maybe you're an empath. Maybe you take on people's emotions. If they're sad, then you're gonna be sad, or maybe you are one of the lucky people that has the possibility to change energy around you. It's kind of like when they talk about the glitch in the Matrix. It all comes back to energy. Now, a lot of people actually question about residual energy ghosts. So if you've ever heard of a residual haunting, this is what it is. Say every single night at 3 a.m. Becky goes to sleep, and at 4 a.m. she is awoken by a man stomping down her hallway. And here's the thing, she can't maybe see the man, but she hears the man at the same time every single night. That would be a residual haunting. It's not intelligent. It's reliving a certain moment in time over and over and over again at the same time every single time. And it might not just be stomping down the hallway. There could be a girl that you see, a sound that you hear. A lot of the time, some of those sounds that you hear in your house could be cut down to residual haunting, and maybe not just your furnace turning on. But it could also totally just be your furnace turning on. Now, my comments have been completely full of the question, how do I know if I have an attachment? How do I know I have an attachment? How do I know that a ghost is around me? How do I know if I'm possessed? How do I know if I have a demon? Now, here's one thing that I really believe. I think places are haunted, but for the most part, it is people. Again, as we flip back to the word energy, your energy can attract people. How do you think you make friends? Yeah, you like each other's personalities, but your energy complements each other. So maybe somewhere along the ride, you picked up a paranormal energy. This doesn't have to be at a haunted location. It can be in a forest, it can be on the road, it can be at your friend's house, it can even be at an amusement park. The cool thing to know is that 99% of the time, they're not gonna be harmful. They might stick with you for a little while and pass on. Maybe they'll feed on your energy a little bit, but not enough that you would really notice. So having a spirit around you could be a family member who's trying to, give you some positive vibes, or, it can be something a little nastier. A lot of us love ghost hunting. We love going places, we love hunting for ghosts, we love doing all of the spooky things, but the truth is a lot of you guys head into this without protecting yourself at all. And you think, okay, crystals are expensive, I don't have this. You literally don't need anything to protect yourself. Putting a shield up around yourself is amazing. I practice this by doing meditating. Just envision something around you and just try to be present in the fact that you have something around you all the time. Now, this right here is what I use. It can be anything. This is a necklace that means a lot to me. It's made out of sterling silver, which is a good conduit, and it has something that means something to me. So every once in a while, I take this off and I sit in my little witchy manifesting room, and I put all of my protection energy into this. I do some castings, and I fill it with all of the good vibes that I can manage, and I put it on, and I will not remove this from my body, because this right here, I know in my mind, and I've set the intention that this is going to protect me and that this is going to keep me safe, and just having that energy and that knowing, that know-how, that know that you're going to be safe is a lot. I don't know if you guys have heard of The Secret, and I know people really get up in arms about The Secret, but I truly believe in it. You say what you want as if it's already yours, and you will have it. The universe will conspire to give you exactly what you want. Now to the good stuff. How do you know if there is something sticky, something nasty, something mean, something gross attached to you? You're gonna be surprised how things show up. Things aren't gonna start moving around your house by chance. That's on more of a nastier vibes. But if you're wondering if just some low-level spirit, some bad energy, maybe even cast off of a different person is attached to you, it's gonna show up in a few simple ways. Number one, you're gonna be feeling overall a little bit gross. You're gonna feel like you're not sleeping well. Even if you get a lot of sleep, you're gonna feel like you didn't. You're going to, and this one I think is always my number one cause for knowing that I have something going on, you're going to have a low-grade headache that is never really gonna go away. Next, you're just gonna be overall maybe just not that great to be around. And you're gonna have some nightmares. Maybe see some shadow people. Now that right there is gonna tell me that there's something nasty attached to you, maybe not horribly disgusting and it's gonna affect your life in totally tragic, horrible ways, but it's like having a flu. It's gross, you don't want it, it's affecting your life and you want it out of your life. So how are you gonna get rid of it? You are gonna jump into manifesting. I know it sounds silly, but I need you to do it. You're gonna cast something out of yourself. You don't need a spell, you don't need religion, you're just gonna sit there and you're gonna say, I want this out. You're gonna say whatever comes to mind. That's the thing. It needs to be true to you and what you wanna say. But the one thing you have to be is true about it. Don't laugh and think it's not real. Completely believe in what you are doing. You say, leave my body, get out of my body. I do not like any of this. One thing that really helps me, and I believe in more than anything, and has really helped me with my house, is using eggs. Take an egg, rub it all over your body, and envision it pulling out all of that bad energy into you. Pull all that energy out in this egg, rub it all over your body, and set the intention that it's taking anything negative out of your body that you do not want in it. Then you are going to take that egg, you are going to go far away from your property and far away where any other people are going to be there, and you're going to set that egg. You're not going to break it, you're going to set that egg because you don't want that energy to release and find its way back to you. Now, we're gonna jump into some of the darker stuff. How do you know if you're possessed? There used to be 3 levels of possession, but now they've seemed to up it to 4. There's infestation, oppression, obsession, possession. In the beginning, if you have something really bad, you're gonna notice some weird stuff. So stuff's gonna move around your house, almost like poltergeist-like activity that seems to be really just around you. Next is oppression. This is where things start to get a little messy. You're gonna have physical attacks. You're gonna deal with sleep paralysis. Your relationships with other people are gonna get really weird. You're not gonna really recognize the way that you're acting. And you're gonna be like, oh, why can't I just stop being horrible? And it's literally not you, it's the nasty thing stuck inside your body. Next comes obsession. And this is one where it's very touchy to talk about this subject because a lot of people can use it as an excuse and a lot of other people say it's completely unfounded, which it is. But when you've studied parapsychology as long as I have and seen the things that I've seen, I've noticed this come into play more than anything. So this is where you're gonna see things very strange. You might find yourself turning towards darker things, maybe watching movies, I know I say that lately, but watching movies and really liking the demonic things that happen. Not only like that, you're gonna start to self-sabotage in a way that you never thought that you could. So maybe you're gonna turn to some of the extremes. Drug addiction, risque behavior, theft, thoughts of killing, abusing things, abusing people, and mainly like abusing drugs. Putting yourself in non-safe environments and situations that you know that are gonna get you in trouble and for some reason you tend to crave. Next is possession, and I'm gonna be completely honest. I have been to one exorcism in my life, and it was the craziest thing that I had ever experienced. There were 2 sisters, and they had gotten a house in Toronto after their grandmother passed away. And they had lived and they had partied because they were in school and they were having a really great time. And 2 men had come. They were, I don't know if they were from abroad for school or what they were around for, but there was an assault that happened to one of the sisters in the kitchen. It was as if they left some kind of very dark energy behind, and she went through all of these stages very, very quickly. By the time I came, I went with me, a pastor, and another wonderful person who has since passed. But we worked together, and for the first time I was able to witness an exorcism. And though there were some low-level amounts of religion, a lot of it was between her and her sister, and honestly the fight of love. And love is what pulled her out of possession. But once she got to possession, she really wasn't there anymore. She was a shell of her, and since then she really doesn't have any memories of that time of her life. So it's kind of hard to get to this spot. Usually it happens very, 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 very slowly. And before people get to this point, they can pass away, which I think, ultimately is what a dark spirit actually wants. Take their soul kind of vibe. But again, I'm just saying here, when it comes to the paranormal, there are professionals. There are. I would say I know a lot. Do I know as many as no? But I've been in the field and this is what I've seen. So don't take my advice with everything, but when it comes to possession, I feel like it's out of the person who is possessed energy and out of their hands, and it's into the hands of the people around them that are willing to try and save them. When I was in this exorcism. Things did not fly off the wall. Things were not as dramatic as you would expect. But the things that did happen that I didn't expect were extreme temperature changes. So in the room that she was in, it would either be super hot or it would be super cold. There would be very weird phantom smells that would come and go, like sulfur or something really, really, really sweet, like fruit, like a banana, right before it's like brown. Along with that, she did speak in voices that were not hers, which was really, really, really incredible to hear. It's something that you expect to always be fake, but to see this, 5'1", blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Barbie-looking girl start to sound like, a 60-year-old smoker, that was pretty interesting. Could she have acted all out? Yeah, she totally could. Maybe she deserves an Oscar, but for this performance, what I saw and I felt, I don't think anyone could have ever created. But at the end of the day, when it comes to possession, how do you deal with that? Well, there was a bunch of us. There's people out there that claim to be professionals that are going to make things a lot worse, and there's not really that many people that are going to make things better. But when it came down to this, it was a fight for love. It was her sister in her face screaming, "This is getting out of you. We're not going to be like this. You are free." Blah, 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 on and on about how much she loved her. The pastor was calling out some religious scripture. I don't really know what it was because I'm not a religious person, but it wasn't until her sister was like, "No, like I'm sick of this," and moved and got in there and started screaming in her sister's face, that everything changed. And it was weird. It was like everybody in the room got tinnitus. It wasn't in the room, it wasn't banging and thumping, but everyone in the room got tinnitus in their own ears. And out of nowhere, it went up and it stopped. And somehow something that we had started at midnight, it was now 7 a.m. in the span of an hour, what felt like an hour. We had gone downstairs and her sister went for a shower, and that girl who came down, I had never met before. I had spent the last 3 days with, but I had never met before. I think keeping ourselves out of situations that make us feel uncomfortable is super, super important. I really believe in trusting your gut. Your heart and your tummy know better than anything around you and what anybody can tell you. If you find yourself in a situation or around people who don't make you your better self, get out of it. Because the truth is that negative energy lives everywhere around us, and so does good. And you really want to repel that negative energy, and you really, really want to suck in all the good energy you can. And that starts with surrounding yourself with the right kind of people and the right kind of situations. When you snuck out at 17 and you went, down to the river with a bunch of people and you didn't maybe feel that right and you left early, that was a good move. It's very easy to get knocked off your course and the way that you're supposed to go in life. I believe in fate, but I totally feel that fate can be adjusted at any single moment to go a certain way. And the first step that you can take in protecting yourself is choosing what energy gets to live around you. Be that family, be that friends, be that anyone. I've had to cut off people that I love very, very much because they did not have my energy in hand, in mind, in heart. I have had to learn the hard way a lot of times, and throughout my life, I had very, very, very negative experiences. Back when I started my podcast, The Haunted Estate, was in 2014, and I had worked on a whole bunch of paranormal cases before that, and I had a very negative energy attached to me, and I had to go through a lot of things to get it out of me. Is that the right word? Out of me? Detached from me. And after that, I decided that I was just going to do the podcast and I was just going to speak on paranormal stuff because it's such a huge part of my life. But the truth is, I love paranormal stuff, and now that I'm older, I feel stronger against it than ever. Back then, I was very impressionable and I didn't know everything I was talking about, and now I feel like I do. So, if I can answer your guys' paranormal questions, that's what I want to do. Because life is weird and life is very scary, and I want you guys to protect yourself, because the last thing that you should be worrying about is negative energy. If I can give you one tip or trick every single night before you go to bed, shake it off. Envision energy in your body, and if there's any dark spots, you just shake it off. Or when you go for your nightly shower, just envision all of that negative energy coming off your body and going down the drain. And honestly, I know that might sound so weird and floofy and nonsense, but watch it change your life. I want to do a whole video on paranormal questions, so drop them down below. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Also, what do you want from me for Halloween? Yes, I am doing some ghost hunty stuff with some people that you're probably expecting, but I want to bring you guys more, and I really hope you like these questions. If you want to read more about more of my paranormal adventures, the first book I ever wrote, The Home Reader, A Paranormal Journey, has a few of the cases I worked on. Excuse the grammar, I wrote that when I was baby. All right, I love you. Until next time, stay spooky and don't pick out a demon, okay? You look good.